From Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside, J.R. Ibarra here for Kart Racer TV. Let's just get right to our starting grid for Tag Senior. Travis Lowe, Devin Lindsay in your front row, followed by Kyle Spalding, Adrian Starrentino, John Wallace, Matt Johnson, Billy Cleveland, David Harwin, Hepner, Wiener, Kricka, England, and Miller make up the rest of your pack as we go green here at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside, California for this 20-lap main event with the Pro Kart Challenge Southern Region for their very first race here of 2011. Right off the bat, it is Travis Lowe taking the lead as they head into the sandbox, followed by Devin Lindsay, Kyle Spalding, Adrian Starrentino make up your top four. It continues to be Lowe, followed by Lindsay, still in lap number one. Great to have you along with us here on KartRacerTV.com as we are now completing lap number one, and Lindsay and Lowe, and there you see a little bit of bump drafting going on here as they head into the Monza turn. Lindsay telling Lowe, hey, here, I am ready to rumble, buddy, as we have already completed lap number one. And there you see, once again, Lindsay right on the back bumper as they get into the sandbox turn, coming down that back straightaway. Lowe looking around. Lindsay once again looking underneath. Has the edge and will take the lead here in lap number two. So just like that, a nice move going into turn number 8. Puts Lindsay into the lead, followed by Lowe. Spalding remains in third place, so your top three beginning to run away from the rest of the race back as we complete lap number 2. Lindsay going to get a challenge now from Lowe. Looks down underneath. Gets a little bit of nudge. Spalding right there. And it will be Lindsay continuing as your leader. Nice tight pack in positions 1, 2, 3, 4. Starrentino in that 4 spot coming down that short chute. Lindsay looking down low. As we mentioned, 20 laps in this main event. In this Tag Senior event here with the Pro Kart Challenge Southern Region. We'll talk a little bit more down the road here about the different regions that have begun to open up with the Pro Kart Challenge. As we are now to complete lap number 3 of this 20-lap main event. Lindsay trying to get a little bit of an aero advantage as you see the rest of the pack beginning to spread out. Lowe now going to get a challenge from Spalding. And Spalding right on the back bumper of Lowe. Starrentino trying to get into the mix now, so a little bit of bumping and grinding going on in positions 2 and 3. There you see Lowe looking around. Lindsay now beginning to open up a bigger gap between positions 2, 3, 4, and 5. So while the bumping and grinding goes on there in positions 2 and 3, Lindsay now opens up a gap of about 4 to 5 kart lengths. So that will give him a little bit of a hand here as he now makes his way to the front straightaway. Looking around, getting a little bit of an aero advantage, but you know what? Lowe is not letting him go any place. There you see Lowe beginning to close the gap as they head into the Monza turn. And while there may have been a slight advantage for Lindsay momentarily, it looks like that is now beginning to be gobbled up here by Travis Lowe as he begins to reel in Lindsay coming down that short straightaway. Headed into turn number 8 here at this 14-turn racetrack, 3/4 of a mile. There you see Lowe giving a little bit of a love tap there to Lindsay. Coming out of turn number 9 into 10. Historic racetrack here at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside, California. 50 years in the making. A lot of great racers have raced at this facility. As you see the pack beginning to spread out here as we head into lap number 5. Continues to be Lindsay. Spalding now, once again, looking at that back bumper of Travis Lowe. Starrentino not letting anybody get away as well in that 4th spot. Matt Johnson making out and rounding out your top 5. But as we were mentioning, the historicness of this racetrack is just tremendous. It's great that the Pro Kart Challenge has come down to this racetrack here in Southern California. When you think of the names that have raced here over the past few years or after the several decades of operations here at Adams Motorsports Park. As Lindsay continues to be your leader. A who's who of both IndyCar racers, NASCAR racers, Buddy Rice, Kevin Harvick. I've maybe seen drag racing guys from NHRA. The Pedregon brothers, I recall seeing racing here at this racetrack several years ago. So there's been a number of big names that have come in and out of this great racetrack, and these young guns obviously trying to make a name for themselves as well. Lindsey hitting into turn number 8, coming in 9, maintaining his lead. There you see his kart just a little bit on the loose side. So you got to imagine if that might wear and tear on the back tires just a bit as the laps will continue to click down here in this 20-lap main event. Lowe beginning to close that gap just a little bit further, looking around to see what is going on behind him. As you see, Lowe is able to kind of close that gap as they come into that historic Monza turn. If you've ever had a chance to race this racetrack, you know you really pull some pretty good G-forces coming into that high back turn. Into the sandbox now, coming out of that very cleanly. It continues to be Lindsey looking around. Lowe is right there, closing the gap even further as they head into 8. So it looks like Lindsey and Lowe beginning to pull away from the 3rd place of Kyle Spalding. Starantino maintains that 4th position, followed by Matt Johnson in 5th. Billy Cleveland running 6th. Lowe once again trying to get a little bit of a toe there. Looking down low, can't make the push. And he will maintain that 2nd spot in that Cosmic Kart. Nice group of race cars here on hand. Tony Kart in front, followed by a Cosmic. Got a Top Kart running in 3rd, so nice great mix of the manufacturers here at this race. Once again, Lowe looking to the inside of turn 8, can't make the move. Lindsey getting a touch loose now. Lowe's got a good run on Lindsey as he's heading into turn 13 and 14. Now going to make their way down the main straightaway. Let's see if Lowe has a run. Trying to grab a little bit of aerodynamic advantage as we see the rest of the pack spreading out behind your top 2. But it will still continue to be Lindsey as they head towards the sandbox turn. Lowe is really beginning to put the pressure on him though. As you see Lowe beginning to look around. Headed into turn number 8. Lowe right there puts a little bit of a bump on that back bumper there with Lindsey. Lindsey, as you see, getting a touch looser now in that race car. Headed into turn 12, 13, and 14 as they make their way down the main straightaway. Will Lowe get a run? Right there. Start finish right beside him. Looks inside, makes the pass. Gets a little bit of a bump from Lindsey, so Travis Lowe back into the lead here in this 20-lap main event. So nice pass by Travis Lowe, and look at Kyle Spalding has now closed the gap here on Lindsey, so he's now getting into the mix. Lowe's going to open up a gap just slightly. Starantino now going to pressure Spalding. Great racing action in your top 5. As Travis Lowe back into the lead. Travis Lowe was your pole sitter. As now they head down the main straightaway. And look at Lowe going to open up a sizable gap. Just about 5 kart lengths as they head into the Monza turn. So Lowe, now with a free and easy path in front of him, begins to run very smoothly and open up just a slight gap. As you see, Lindsey kind of tightens it up as they come into the sandbox. Headed into turn number 8. The SKUSA Pro Kart Challenge, this is their first visit here to Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside, and they have themselves a very full calendar here for the 2011 season. As you see the battle in positions 3 and 4, Spalding versus Starantino now to begin to heat up just a touch, as you see Lowe beginning to open up a sizable gap. Several races on hand for racers not only here in California but now across the country. Round number 2 for the Pro Kart Challenge Southern region will be at the Willow Kart track there at Willow Springs Raceway, followed by Button Willows. The streets of Willow back again at Willow Springs. As you see the fight going on with Spalding, Starantino, and Lindsey in positions 2, 3, and 4. The Pro Kart Challenge Southern region will also find themselves at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego in June, followed by the West Coast Shootout with both the Northern and Southern region here in California racing at Santa Maria Kart track in August, on August the 19th and 20th. Full mix of races for the Northern region too. As you see, Lowe continuing to lead, open up just a slight gap, but look at positions 2, 3, and 4. They continue to battle things out there amongst themselves. As you see Lowe coming into 8. Laps beginning to wind down here at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside. SKUSA also has their Pro Tour Challenge as well as some brand new regions to announce with the Maui Kart Challenge, the Central States Challenge, and the SKUSA Mountain Region. So racing spreading all over the country with SKUSA and the Pro Kart Challenge. As we're now just under 5 laps remaining here at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside. Don't forget the Pro Tour as well with the Spring Nationals in April in Phoenix at the Musselman Honda Circuit. The Summer Nationals at the Grand Junction Motor Speedway in Colorado on July 15th through the 17th. And of course the ever popular, the Super Nationals at the Real Suites Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas coming up on November 16th through the 20th. You don't want to miss that. To find out more about all that is happening, go to ProKartChallenge.com and you'll see a great listing of activities and events throughout the country. As we see the laps beginning to wind down here at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside with the Tag Senior Division. It continues to be Lowe in the lead, followed by Lindsay and Spalding. There you see the gap beginning to widen as they head into the sandbox turn. Lowe beginning to look around, trying to survey the landscape of what's happening behind them. There you see the gap has widened out between positions 4 and 5 with Starantino and Matt Johnson running in that 5th spot. Billy Cleveland running in the 6th spot. Lindsay trying to get a little bit of aero advantage as they head down the main straightaway. And boy, you see positions 2, 3, 4, and 5 really working it hard to try to at least stay within the gun sights there of your leader, Travis Lowe. But with the laps winding down, it looks like it might be Lowe who continues to be in control here with the great advantage as he continues to have about a 5, almost 6 kart length lead now. There's your battle with Lindsay, Spalding, Starantino coming down your main straightaway. Three laps will remain. Lindsay, as you see, has been just a bit on the loose side with that race kart setup, so you got to wonder if that kind of made somewhat of the situation where Lowe was able to get underneath him into turn number 8 to make that pass, or I should say into the Monza turn to make that pass. There you see positions 3 and 4 with Spalding, Starantino, Matt Johnson now begin to trail in that 5th spot. Lindsay with a really nice run today. Led the race momentarily. As you see, we got 2 laps remaining. So Devin Lindsay still trying to maintain that 2nd position with Spalding in hot pursuit. Travis Lowe continues to run smoothly. Now Spalding putting the pressure there on Lindsay. So now your tight battle is for the 2nd spot. Spalding really putting the pressure there on Lindsay. So while Lowe begins to kind of pull away just ever so slightly as he comes into turn 14, now headed down the main straightaway, looking for that white flag, looking around, headed into the Monza turn. It is a fight, and there you see Spalding getting underneath Lindsay. We saw it momentarily. There you see Spalding in 2nd. Lindsay looking down underneath, passes him right back as they come out of the sandbox. May have been a little bit of contact there. So it's Lindsay back in 2nd place. As you see Lowe on your final lap, streaking away from the rest of the pack. Heading into 14, now going to come down that main straightaway. And Travis Lowe beginning to pump the fist, and he'll be your winner here at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside. So some great action between your top 4 and 5 here this afternoon. Travis Lowe winning his very first race with a Pro Kart Challenge, followed by Devin Lindsay, Kyle Spalding, Adrian Starrentino, Matt Johnson, and Billy Cleveland to round out your top 6 here with the Tag Senior Division in this 20-lap main event. So our congrats go to Travis Lowe as he's now getting the congrats there in the pit lane with his family and friends. Devin Lindsay going to come up and give a nice little hug. As we mentioned, his very first victory, and here's your finishing order with Lowe, Lindsay, Spalding, Starrentino, Johnson, and Cleveland, Haran, Kricka, Hepner, Miller, Wiener, England, and Wallace, and Giebler did not finish and did not start. Let's talk to our winner.
Hey, Travis, tell me about the win there.
Just had a good start, came out in first, and then Devin got by me 2 laps in, and we just kind of paced the field for a while. And then once I got a run down the straightaway, I passed him and tried to pull away, and it all worked out for my first victory in Pro Kart.
It seems like once you got the pass, everything ran a little smoother for you.
Yeah, when I was behind him, it was a little difficult because I kind of run my line. I couldn't run my braking, but once I got by him, I could run my own thing and pulled away slowly.
All right, good job.
Thank you.
From Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside, this is JR Ibarra. Thanks for watching us. You've been watching Kart Racer TV.